Let's get on here. Yeah. About to break down these joints and smoke these motherfuckers. What y'all talking about? Gotta roll this joint. Roll this joint. What's up, Chuck? What y'all talking about? Come on in here. Let's talk some random sports. NBA playoff time. What you niggas on? What gay emails? What you talking about, Chuck? I see them get deleted emails. Shit. What emails? Oh, Fauci emails. Oh, okay. I mean, Fauci's a fraud. Well, let me. You gotta watch. You gotta watch what you say on here about Dr. F. Let's just call him that, Dr. F. Gotta watch what you say about him. He the government's do boy. Let's see. Hell yeah, the Clippers choked. What I think of the Knicks? What is there to think? They're the Knicks. Knicks make the playoffs one time a decade, and that whole city of New York go wild. The Knicks ain't shit as an organization. Ain't won a damn thing in 50 some odd years. But we got to hear New York is the mecca of basketball. Bullshit. Yeah, peace of the chat. I'm tired of that whole New York is the mecca of basketball bullshit. They ain't got no good colleges. They NBA, the Knicks suck, and and every nigga they send to the league that's a big old hype, from Lamar Odom to Sebastian Telfair, turn out to be bust. Shit. New York basketball bust harder than anything Kwame Brown did. You're right. They scared back said Spike walked out like LeBron. He did. That's why I don't fuck with them. No, New York does not have the most basketball players. California does. The mecca of basketball is Los Angeles, or greater the state of California. Shit. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, LaMelo Ball, Lonzo Ball, nigga, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, the fuck out of here. New York ain't got no. New York, the best they got ain't even. They didn't even live in New York, and that's Kyrie. He's from Patterson, New Jersey. They got Kemba Walker, and that's it. New York is the most overrated. It's good to see Julius Randle balling. I love Julius Randle, but man, let's just tell the truth. New Yorkers get way too hype about a team that ain't going nowhere. They made the playoffs. New York Knicks fans relaxed. This nigga said Kareem. Nigga, that was 70 years ago. See, that be the thing. When they talk about New York basketball, you got to bring up the goddamn when niggas had sideburns and tube socks. Fuck out of here. We in 2021. LA's producing legends now. You don't have to go back to last fucking century to find LA legends. That's what I mean by New York is overrated. Oh yeah, New York used to have it. Oh, no doubt about New York's past, but New York is irrelevant. They're irrelevant. They are a relic of the past. I'll take Seattle basketball over New York basketball any day. I'll take, fuck out of here, New York. New York is a hype job. All hype. Oh yeah, PG County is good with basketball. What's up, y'all? What's up, DC Static? Nah, but yeah, whoever said the Clippers choked earlier, yeah, the Clippers just choked. The Clippers just choked. Why did Doc Rivers have Terrence Mann in the game? What does Terrence Mann do to be in the fourth quarter of an important playoff game? I understand throwing him in the middle of the third quarter, second quarter. Fourth quarter, nigga? The fuck was you thinking, Doc Rivers? Tim Hardaway Jr. hit the biggest shots this game. Why are you saying Luka's the man? Luka had a good game, but Luka ain't no better than Trae Young. I take Trae Young over Luka all day. Kawhi was not ducking Luka. He was guarding Luka. They were running the high screen. What the fuck are you talking about? See, y'all got to know basketball. Kawhi, especially the last three plays, Kawhi fought over the screen 2 and 3 different times on the same play. He only switched after they kept running the screen. They actually moved on the screen. It could have been called moving screen. You know why he had to switch? Because, you mean that resistance. Were you watching the game? He literally fought over the screen 2 and 3 different times in the last 5 minutes of the game. He didn't take the first screen that got there. Man, y'all, I swear y'all don't be watching the game. Y'all be listening to narratives, man. Look. When Tim Hardaway Jr. came over, you can't play with him. He can leave Morris on an island because you cannot leave Tim Hardaway Jr. You see them big ass shots Tim Hardaway Jr. hit? Tim Hardaway Jr., even though Luka's the best player on the Mavs, Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably the most important player because it's his shooting ability that makes defenses stay honest. You can't play with screens on Luka because as good as Luka is, Tim Hardaway Jr. is just as good of a shooter. So you can't play on those screens. And you saw what happened. The minute they hesitated on the screen, Tim Hardaway Jr., whack. I swear, gotta watch the whole game. Gotta watch the whole game, not one player. You gotta watch the whole player. The whole game. Here's another thing I don't get. This is why I'm talking about basketball talk. God, it's very rare that I do basketball talk. And here's the reason why. You make a point about something, and a lot of people's reply is, oh, you just don't like that person. Swear to God, you niggas turn this shit into preschool. Luka ain't even look. And on top of that, in the last 5 minutes, Luka hit 2 buckets, hit 2 points. That's what I'm laughing. That's why I'm just reading. I'm just reading the comments. I'm trying to see if you guys actually even mentioned the name of anyone who made those big shots for the Mavericks. See, that'd be the thing. People be so quick to call you a hater, this or that. Nigga, Dallas was busting the Clippers' asses with those 3-pointers in the last 2 minutes. Hell yeah, Willie Beeman. Paul George do get stage fright. Paul George, man, I don't like Paul George. Like, Paul George is somebody who, although he's from Southern California, I don't like to acknowledge it. We put that nigga out in Palmdale. Paul George ain't LA, he Palmdale. Palmdale George. Paul George does not like big moments. Hell yeah, Paul George is a front runner. I don't fuck with Paul George. I started calling that shit out back when he was in Indiana. And niggas, same shit like how always happens because Paul George gets so much hype. Niggas, the minute a player get hype, niggas be, they can play. I swear, all they need to do is give a nigga a Sprite commercial and 90% of you motherfuckers is gonna swear by that player based on a fucking commercial you saw. Paul George ain't never been good in big moments. I don't like players who got all that goddamn skill. They can ball all game, but then when it gets to playoff time and your team needs you to showcase that skill, you do Paul George shit. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why I give Kawhi. Kawhi didn't play well late. Here's the reason why I give Kawhi. I give him more rope. I give Kawhi more rope because he actually won 2 championships this decade without a super team. Kawhi Leonard is the only player to win a championship in the last 7 or 8 years without a super team. Spurs were old. Tim Duncan was not himself anymore. Manu Ginobili definitely wasn't himself. And Tony Parker was fresh off of a sprained ankle. And he still won. Then the motherfucker won in Toronto. Now, yeah, the Warriors were injured. Yeah, would they have won had the Warriors not been injured? No. But they still won. The Warriors were also injured when the Cavs beat them, but no one sits around and says, oh, well, they were injured. They know LeBron beat the greatest team ever. They forget the fact that the Warriors were hella injured then too. So if we're not going to count injuries for one player, I'm not going to count injuries for the other player either. So Kawhi got 2 championships with no super team. So people want to, and on top of that, the nigga playing for the fucking Clippers. Oh, I think you niggas forgot how bad the Clippers organization is. So yeah, that's the thing. Everyone loves to criticize Kawhi Leonard's game, but you make passes for your favorite players. He said they had Jeremy Lin. In the era of super teams, Kawhi Leonard has 2 chips with no super team. So I give him a pass on a lot of things because he's already proven it. There's nothing for him to prove. If he retired now, he can say, I'm the only player who won multiple championships in the era of the super team with no super team. He's the only player that can say that. Yeah, Chuck, Kawhi probably should have gone back to the Raptors, but I don't blame him for passing up that tax, those damn Canada taxes. And what's the thing, when you play for the Raptors, every time you go home from a road trip, you have to go through customs. That's why a lot of players don't want to play for the Raptors. Every time a team goes to Toronto, you have to go through customs. So now, what would have been, if you play in the United States, a road trip that may be 2 hours between the flight and check into your hotel, now it's 3.5 hours because you got to go through customs. That's why a lot of people don't like playing for the Raptors. So I can't get mad at Kawhi for leaving because of that reason. And them high-ass Canada taxes. NBA players already got health care. So the free health care in Canada is no incentive to them because they already got it. And if any of them niggas get put on child support, their passport gonna get revoked. So you gotta put this shit in context. Niggas love criticizing any player not named LeBron, but then turn around and don't give them players credit for doing more with less. I don't do narratives when it comes to sports. I'm just not coming to y'all live now because I watched all them games today. Let's see. somebody earlier talked about LeBron leaving the court early. That's that hoe shit that only hoe ass LeBron James fans allow a nigga to get away with. Hawks 76ers, that come down to Embiid's health. The Hawks can get the Sixers without Embiid. With Embiid, the Hawks don't have a chance. That's why American NBA, I won't say it's all the way scripted, but there are safeguards in place to ensure certain outcomes for certain players that make the NBA a certain amount of money. Capella can guard Embiid. Yes, he can, but he can't stop him. He can guard Embiid. Embiid's still gonna score all over his ass if he's healthy. Do y'all know why I like talking so much shit to LeBron James fans? Let me tell you why. Because if you notice my criticisms, I don't talk 10% of the time. I'm talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about LeBron James. The other 90% of the time I'm talking about LeBron is me talking about his beta male fan base. LeBron's beta male fan base is who I go at more than LeBron himself. Because they accept whole shit. LeBron walked off the court with 5.5 minutes left in yesterday's game. Nigga, if you do that shit in Pop Warner, you're getting kicked off the team. Game's still going on, you walking off the court. That's some bitch shit. And it's disrespectful to the other team. It's disrespectful to your team. Why is it disrespectful? Because, nigga, it's 5 minutes left in the game. We still got another 2 games to go. If you Lakers win tomorrow, it's 2 more games to go. You still have strategy that you could be strategizing based off what they're doing. But you walking off the court. That's some whole shit. I hope LeBron leaves Lakers. Yeah, like that's a threat. LeBron about to leave Lakers. Leave, nigga. Go. Man, I'm mad because shit. Julius Randle. Now, I wanted the Lakers to keep that young core that they drafted together, like the Warriors did. What if the Warriors started piecing those players off one by one for a player now? You exchange one championship in exchange for possible dominance over a whole decade. Jordan Clarkson, 6th man of the year. Motherfucking D'Angelo Russell made an all-star squad last year for his first time. Lonzo's now getting into basketball shape. Man, all them former Lakers that they traded away are balling. But they traded for a nigga that walks off and that, first of all, that bubble championship is an asterisk. I said this shit back then. Hell yeah, Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant was a baller. So was Zubac. And Kuzma's still a baller. But people don't understand. Trying to explain cause and effect to a LeBron James fan. I don't know. I think LeBron, not all LeBron James fans. Just most, but to all the Bron sexuals. Trying to explain cause and effect and how that works in basketball, that's like trying to explain, I don't know, math, like algebra to a 1-year-old. You're right, Brandon Ingram, all the niggas is balling. Kuzma would have been balling because Kuzma would have been in his place. When you play with LeBron James, your job is to sit in the corner and wait for LeBron James to pass it to you. Now that works for some players. Kyle Korver, Ray Allen, all of those all-time great three-point shooters LeBron's had on his team. Shane Battier. That works for some players. But other players got to get the ball and get some kind of a movement. They got to get some kind of a rhythm to get their game going. And when you play with LeBron, you can't do that. That shit's all his stats. Look at Antoine's pathology. Antoine Walker. I'm not Antoine, y'all. I said Antoine Walker. Antoine Jameson. A lot of some of you niggas weren't watching basketball back then or watching. Antoine Jameson was an all-star. He was the Wizards to the playoffs every year. The only thing that messed up the Wizards was in the playoffs to come either him or Gilbert Arenas would get hurt. And then Gilbert ended up having that final knee injury. But that Wizards team with Caron Butler, Antoine Jameson, and Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jameson was a monster in the post. He goes to Cleveland, turns into a three-point shooter. All of a sudden, the nigga sucks ass and can't play anymore. He was just fine last year in Washington. Oh, but now he's with LeBron. He's no longer an all-star, can't play anymore. Okay, that's one time. Chris Bosh, next one. All-time leader in everything Toronto Raptors history. Made the Olympic team. He was a 5-time All-Star at the time before he got to Miami. Was balling his ass off on the post. He gets to LeBron, all of a sudden the nigga's a marginal player who only shoots three-pointers. Can't get no shots in where he used to get his points. Can't operate in the post like he used to. He becomes a corner three-point shooter. But he does it great because he had a lot of big shots. He had a lot of clutch shots for Miami. But he had to sacrifice so much of his game for that Miami thing to work. When all they had to do was give Bosh maybe 4 plays a quarter from the post. LeBron, do you got to run down the middle and pass all the goddamn time? Can Bosh get at least 4 to 5 looks in the mid-post a quarter? Move on to Kevin Love. Kevin Love, 50-20, 30-20, balling, all-star, Olympian. Gets with LeBron, corner three-point shooter. Anthony Davis, baller, all-star. You see, what helped the Lakers win last year was Anthony Davis actually especially during the bubble, Anthony Davis got a lot of plays mid-post. A lot of plays mid-post. This year, corner three-point shooter. All these fucking all-stars, all of these Hall of Famers, all these niggas that's going to the Hall of Fame before they met you turn into corner three-point shooters. So what happens? When they win, who gets the credit? One guy. Because all those bronzexuals, I think all you niggas cream on yourself every time he gets an assist. So that's the only nigga that gets credit when they win. When they lose, who gets the blame? Oh, the team wasn't good. Oh, hell yeah, that bubble helped. And niggas, see the thing with bronzexuals, they say so many cliches, and then when you call them out on the cliche, they say you're a hater. Someone says when you play with LeBron, get your ring ready. Well, tell Brandon Ingram that. Tell Lonzo Ball that. Tell the Lakers that when LeBron got there before Anthony Davis arrived. Tell all the niggas on the 2019 Lakers that when LeBron come, get your rings ready. Tell that squad that didn't make the playoffs that. Then you'll get someone like an Anthony Davis who does all the groundwork, all the grit work, and get none of the credit. You see what happened with no Anthony. Josh Hart's another one. You saw what happened yesterday. No Anthony Davis. This nigga LeBron, I quit, nigga. Let me go to the. No Anthony Davis. Not only do you lose, nigga, you quit. Another LeBron sexual cliche. LeBron was hurt that season. You're talking to a Laker fan, homie. You know. When LeBron James got the Lakers were in they were in fourth place in the. When LeBron James returned from injury, 14th seed. But they went from one game out of 8th to 14th while LeBron was still playing. That happened, folks. See, for people who didn't actually watch the games, you can just say, "Oh, LeBron was hurt," and then walk on by. But for actual Lakers fans like me, who actually watched those games, you can't slide that by me, homie. That's why I go so hard on LeBron James fans. They repeat cliches. They look. That's another. Oh man, he the GOAT. Okay, if he was a GOAT, how did Kevin Durant bust his ass with the same shot twice in a row in his building? The game happens on the court. You bronzexuals, the game for y'all happens on ESPN. Whatever Nick Wright and Stephen A. Smith said happened the next morning when you watch First Take. That's your opinion of basketball. That's why I like talking shit to LeBron fans. Because y'all say the same shit. And y'all say the same shit because y'all listen to the same people. There's like almost no originality in thought when it comes to LeBron fans. Y'all literally say the same shit. And all it takes is somebody who actually watches the game to be like, no, that's not how it happened. It happened this way. And all you got to do is go back and look at the tape. And that ends all them arguments. I never said LeBron wasn't a good player. Here's the issue. You niggas try to act like he's the GOAT. No, LeBron's a great player. He's one of the best players to ever play the game. He is. I still give LeBron credit for being one of the best players to ever do it. My time, when your team is down in the fourth, why didn't you use that shit against Orlando in 2000? versus LeBron finals. Why didn't you use it then? How do I feel about Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan, I feel the same way about Michael Jordan as I do LeBron. But LeBron was getting them. I take that back. I take that back. I feel differently about them. But Michael Jordan was a hype job, just like LeBron's a hype job. They're both hypes. They're both champions. But the NBA also did a lot to make sure that their hype job became champions. Both niggas had the NBA, the commissioner behind them. Michael Jordan and LeBron James. That's a commonality they share. The commissioner had a vested interest in their success. So they're going here. We got a brownsexual in the room. You're still being a childish hater. And look, any grown man that uses the term hater has a clit. You have a clitoris, my friend. If somebody makes a point and you disagree with the point that they made. When you just ignore the point that somebody made and jump right to calling them a hater, nigga, you are the Q in LGBTQ. You did? But when it comes to Jordan, Jordan was the greatest player of the 1990s. I give him that. Hell no, Jordan wasn't the greatest of all time. You don't get smacked around by the same nigga 3 years in a row and be called the GOAT. Isaiah still got you 3-1. Isaiah still got you 3-1. This nigga Isaiah Thomas beat, people don't even throw Isaiah Thomas in the conversation. This nigga Isaiah Thomas beat Jordan, Bird, and Magic. And I hate the Pistons. I'm a Laker fan. I know how to be objective though. How you gonna say I'm totally wrong? Nigga, if I'm wrong about the 80s, pull it up. That's nothing about, see, Jordan fans and LeBron fans the same thing. They just repeat cliches. I literally just said Isaiah beat him 3 years in a row, and some nigga in the chat room said totally wrong. Well, if I'm wrong, go pull it up, nigga. If I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. Jordan was the best player of the 90s. And that dude said go kill it. And the same dude that said I was wrong, every player that he mentioned that Jordan beat was a player from the 90s. You niggas keep securing my point. Jordan was 6 for 6. What decade did he go 6 for 6? The 90s. That's real point, real talk, Jules. There is no GOAT. You can say, okay, this player was the best player of this era. That player was the best player of that era. That player is the best player of that era. But you can't cover all that. You're right. And the 90s was the expansion decade. Think about this shit. Michael Jordan won all of his championships the same decade the NBA had to shorten the three-point line. Why did the NBA have to shorten the three-point line? Because them niggas couldn't shoot. The NBA had expansion. You got 6 new fucking teams, and you got about 30 players in the NBA now. Well, it was 6 teams, 12 players a team. It was 5 because no, 5 teams. 5 times 12 is 60. That's 60 new players in the NBA who would not have qualified to make an NBA roster last year. Now in the NBA. So them niggas couldn't shoot. So David Stern had to shorten the three-point line because basketball sucked in the 90s. Jordan won that era. Yes, okay, great. Cool. He was the best player of the 90s. That's my whole fucking point. But how can I say He's the greatest of all time when he got bitch slapped by Isaiah Thomas 3 years in a row. He got bitch slapped by Sidney Moncrief 2 years in a row. They like cherry picking Jordan history. Oh, he scored 63 against the Celtics. So Dominique Wilkins dropped 59 or 58 on the Celtics. So what? You niggas still lost. And I can say this as someone who cannot stand the Pistons. I hated the Pistons because they got that one bullshit championship over my injured Lakers. Magic and Byron and Worthy got hurt because of that fucking Pat Riley. Pat Riley used to the Lakers had swept that year in the playoffs in 1989. They were 11-0. And Pat Riley took the team to the University of Santa Barbara, and that late in the season, ran those hard practices, had them running up and down the court, and Magic pulled a fucking hamstring in practice. That's how my Lakers lost. And I hate the goddamn Pistons. And I could not stand a little short fuck Isaiah Thomas my whole goddamn life. But truth is truth. I know how to separate my feelings from my love for my Lakers from basketball. Because I like basketball more than I like my Lakers. I like basketball more than I like my two favorite players of all time, Kobe and Magic. Kobe and Magic. What's up, Manny? Kobe and Magic are my two favorite players of all time. But I don't like neither of them more than I like basketball. I love basketball. I couldn't stand Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer is this punk from Palos Verdes. As a matter of fact, you might see him if y'all on my Facebook page. My man Greg Newell, we were talking about Bill Laimbeer because he was in the Palisades with him at that same time. And Greg's father was Pete Newell, the Pete Newell big man camp. That big man camp put everybody in shape from goddamn Kareem to Wilt to Shaq. All went through Pete Newell big man camp. Look up Pete Newell. One of the greatest minds to ever commit to the game of basketball, to ever be a part of basketball. Look up Pete Newell. I'm real cool with his son Greg. We talk a lot of these basketball stories. And he was talking about Bill Laimbeer. He was like, man, Bill Laimbeer, when they lived in Palos Verdes, he was a preppy punk. Rich kid, preppy punk that was not tough. He got tough when he got around them bad boys in Pistons. When that motherfucker got around Isaiah and Rick Mahorn and those guys, that's when he became tough. I hated goddamn Bill Laimbeer. I was rooting for the Bulls to beat the Pistons. I used to root for the Bulls to beat the Pistons every fucking year because I hated Bill Laimbeer. And every year, Michael Jordan would get bitch slapped. Get the fuck out of here, John Paxson. He always had a better team. Who was Charles Barkley's Hall of Fame teammate? I'll wait. Who was Patrick Ewing's Hall of Fame teammate to help him out against Michael Jordan when he went to the bench? I'll wait. Who was Reggie Miller's Hall of Fame teammate to carry the load when he went to the bench? KJ's not a Hall of Famer. And if you were around watching basketball back then, KJ only had maybe 2 seasons where he didn't have injuries. Every other year, that nigga KJ would miss at least 30 fucking games. They couldn't even get it together. KJ's not a Hall of Famer. And he didn't play that much. Barkley had a chance. If KJ actually played. But this nigga KJ kept getting injured. See, when Jordan went to the bench, I told you before, I had before NBA League Pass, There was, if you had cable, you can watch WGN. And WGN carries Chicago Bulls games. So you could watch every Jordan game all season. You couldn't watch everybody. Everyone else you had to wait until the national TV game, Channel 4 on Sunday. But you didn't have to wait for Channel 4 on Sunday with Michael Jordan because he was on WGN. So I got to see all the games. The minute Jordan goes to the bench, he can rely on Pippen to either maintain the lead or expand the lead. Right, you got Dennis Rodman. Do you know how important a player like Dennis Rodman is? You get to hold the other team to one possession because he's going to get every fucking rebound. You make the other team's guards commit to rebounding because if the other team's guards don't rebound, Rodman's going to get every rebound. So he makes the guard sag in to rebound, and when you make the guard sag in to rebound, that stops the other team from getting points in transition. There's another cliche that Jordan fans say, the Jordan rules. Ain't no such fucking thing as Jordan rules. All Jordan rules was treat Jordan the way we treat every other fucking superstar on their team. They treated Magic the same way. Go back and look. Magic used to get clotheslined against the fucking Pistons. The Pistons treated Larry Bird the same way. Them niggas used to have fist fights. Jordan didn't get no fist fights. The Pistons used to actually fist fight motherfuckers. And the people want to say the Jordan rules, as if Jordan got any extra treatment that any other player got that played against the Pistons. If you were playing against the Pistons in the 1980s and you took your happy ass down to the middle, you were going to get put on your ass, okay? Let me say it again. If you played against the Detroit Pistons from 1985 to 1990 and you went down the paint, you were going to get fucked up. There was no special, let's fuck Jordan up more than we fuck up other people. Them niggas used to watch, the Pistons used to knock James Worthy's goggles off his fucking head. Jordan rules. That's just a goddamn, Jordan rules some shit that Nike marketed to you niggas. That's just some Nike marketing shit. I believe the Rockets would have beat the Bulls. Because they had no answer for Hakeem Olajuwon. If you want to talk about some GOATs, Hakeem Olajuwon won 2 fucking championships with no all-star teammates. And don't say Clyde Drexler, because that nigga was old by the time he got to the Rockets. That nigga Clyde Drexler had a George Jefferson hairline. And he could do it some games, but he couldn't do it like he did in Portland. That was old Clyde Drexler. If Dream and Drexler got together in 1989, do you think Jordan would have 6 championships? Hell no. This nigga Jordan always had the best team. The game when he went to the bench. Because I watched them Bulls games. Them game separations came when Jordan would go to the bench, when both teams go to their bench, Pippen to be in with the Bulls running the offense, and the Bulls lead would go from 4 points to 8 points. Then Michael Jordan just come back in and be great. Shit, Reggie Miller go to the bench, Patrick Ewing go to the bench. Them niggas go to the bench. When Charles Barkley was in the game, they was up 6. He go to the bench. He come back in the game down 4. That matters. You're right. Bulls went to the damn one game to the East Conference without Jordan. This nigga, and at the same time, this nigga Hakeem Olajuwon beat Shaq, Penny, and Nick Anderson. But people act like he don't exist in the GOAT championship, in the GOAT conversation. That's why I do all that GOAT shit. You have the best players from their era, and that's it. This nigga Dream's issue was, see, the Bulls would have been light work for the Rockets. His issue was he had to go against, someone said it before and earlier, his issue was he had to go against David Robinson, but it was really the Utah Jazz, which is a bad matchup for the Rockets. Karl Malone, no matter who the Rockets had at power forward, they could not fuck with Karl Malone and John Stockton. They had nothing for John Stockton. They had nothing for him. That was there. It was a matchup problem. The Rockets and the Jazz were just a bad matchup for the Rockets. Same thing with the Supersonics. The Sonics were a bad matchup for the Rockets also. But the Sonics' kryptonite was goddamn the Utah Jazz would just be more patient. You know what I mean? And then and the David Robinson. The Sonics had nothing for David Robinson at San Antonio. Anybody that says Rodman is a hype, just time them out in the chat room. I'm not about to have a basketball conversation. If any of my moderators in here, anyone's I'll take a bronzexual dealing with a weird ass bronzexual before I deal with somebody who says Dennis Rodman was a hype job. NBA couldn't stand Dennis Rodman. Fuck you mean he was a hype job? All they did was everything. I remember when Dennis Rodman first got to the Bulls, they used to always ask Phil Jackson, how are you going to control Dennis Rodman? And Phil be like, man, you don't control him. You let him be him. And they used to get mad at Phil Jackson for that. They used to always talk about controlling Dennis Rodman. Ooh, though, out of control Negro. NBA couldn't stand Dennis Rodman. Any chance the NBA had to fine or suspend Dennis Rodman, they did it. Rodman earned every ounce of what he got. Dennis Rodman is a 5-time fucking champion. People don't like to bring that up. It's a reason why he's a 5-time champion. Because the motherfucker did what it took to win. Niggas get so caught up in points and assists, you forget assists is one of the most meaningless stats. All an assist means is you pass the ball to a skill level to make a shot. That don't mean shit. The other player did all the work. What makes an assist on the dump off for a layup any more important than a pass down to your post up center like Hakeem Olajuwon, who could then go to work? Either way it goes, 2 buckets. But one got an assist because of the time the pass got there. Think of how many more assists Magic could have had he not spent most of the game dumping the ball down to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Because people forget, when you dump the ball down to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and he swing left, shoot right, no assist because it's more than 2 dribbles. If Magic ran today's high screen and roll offense, he probably averaged 19 assists a game. Magic got all them assists on the break. You're right. You knew you were with deep rebounds. Dennis Rodman is the one player who can honestly say he guarded with success everyone from Michael Jordan to Shaq. Yeah. The Pistons, whenever Jordan got to going too crazy, they switched Dennis Rodman. Matter of fact, Dennis Rodman played small forward with the Pistons a lot. His position was small forward. So it was Dennis Rodman's job to guard Pippen and Jordan back then. Yeah. When the goddamn Pistons was mollywopping the shit out of the Bulls, It was Dennis Rodman guarding that motherfucker. It was also Dennis Rodman guarding Shaq in 1996 when the Orlando Magic should have gone back to the finals. Dennis Rodman down there playing defense on Shaq. Yep, Rodman guarded Pippen. This nigga Rodman guarded Sean Kemp. Kemp was the one player that gave Rodman problems. Sean Kemp gave Rodman problems more than anyone else. Rodman was there, but Kemp was giving that nigga buckets, but he still guarded him. And he the next 2 years locked down Karl Malone, the quote-unquote greatest power forward of all time. Do you know how important it is for Michael Jordan to have Dennis Rodman when he has to deal with Karl Malone on the other team? See, in today's NBA, there are cross matchups. Back then, they didn't do too many cross matchups. The position guarded the position you played. Karl Malone was a power forward. Dennis Rodman used to get in that motherfucker's ass. If you have some old regular, if Michael Jordan has Eldon fucking Campbell guarding Karl Malone and not Dennis Rodman, you think he would have beat the Jazz both them years? Think about that. You think he would have beat them both of those years? No zone defense, yeah. See, people like to fantasize too much about basketball. No, I'm not going to start Eldon Campbell out, man, because, hell, he the reason why my Lakers got swept by the fucking Jazz. Karl Malone was dogging this shit out of Eldon Campbell when the Lakers had to play against them in the playoffs. Nigga, I was so glad we traded Eldon Campbell. Nigga, Karl Malone was working the dog shit out of Eldon Campbell in those 1997 playoffs, Lakers versus Utah Jazz. He was working Robert Horry. Robert Horry would get 2 quick fouls. They bring Eldon Campbell in, and Karl Malone will work the shit out of Eldon Campbell. Peace, Bug Shelton. Hell yeah, Malone was corny. And Malone wasn't clutch. See, that was Malone's problem. Malone I had the same issue with Karl Malone that I have with a lot of players. He gets you some good stats, but when it came time to actually, my team needs a bucket, Karl Malone couldn't get you that. Karl Malone couldn't get you that bucket. You down 3, you need to get a bucket to stop the other team's momentum, don't pass to Karl Malone. No, Harden's much better than Karl Malone. Harden's issue is he ain't ever had no fucking help. When he finally got help in Chris Paul got hurt. See, that'd be a thing. People will be like, LeBron had 5 All-Stars, 20 Olympians, but he didn't get enough help. This nigga Harden, y'all remember that year Harden took the Rockets to the Western Conference Finals when they beat the Clippers? And Dwight Howard was injured, and it was like Harden and all like Josh Smith and a bunch of backup players, and they still got to the Western Conference Finals. Harden's issue is he gets his team there, and he never has the legs to finish it. That's why having a consistent teammate that gives you consistent buckets is so important, because that's what's going to give you legs when later in the season come around. When you got to get your team all the way there, look, people forget, the NBA playoffs are 2.5 months long. That's 2 months in addition to 82 games. If you don't have somebody else that can get you consistent buckets, you're not going to have the legs come playoff time. You're not. Especially the deeper you get in the playoffs. Harden's best year, D'Antoni fucked off. That year they had Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul. They fucked over Carmelo Anthony because had they kept Carmelo, Carmelo could have taken pressure off of Harden. But they wanted to act like Carmelo couldn't play anymore because the NBA had an issue with Carmelo Anthony because people forget. See, the thing, a lot of you niggas that don't know shit about basketball, they know you emotional, especially you emotional ass bronzexuals. They know you'll believe whatever they say. This nigga, they actually had you niggas believing Carmelo Anthony couldn't play basketball anymore 2 years ago. Remember that? They literally had niggas thinking Carmelo couldn't play anymore. That's the power of sports media. This nigga they fucking cut Carmelo Anthony because D'Antoni want to shoot threes all goddamn game. And the reason why the fallout happened in Houston, Chris Paul went to D'Antoni and said, "Look, we got to score other ways than just screen and roll. The threes ain't always gonna be here." What happened against Golden State? Chris Paul gets hurt, and them niggas went 0 for 25 from 3. But then you niggas are all blaming on Harden because you've been trained by the sports media to feel that way. You ever ask yourself the question, why is it that if every player seems to get cut down and players have if they don't have nothing to say positive about any player other than LeBron James? Think about that. If somebody questions anything about LeBron James, his fans will jump right in and be like, "Why are you hating?" But at the same time, if you say, "Okay, yeah, James Harden just needed somebody else that can help carry the load," you niggas will go right into, "Man, he dribbled too much. He didn't get his team to the finals," and y'all going all this hoe shit. Just straight up hoe babble. Like, what the fuck you talking about? How you gonna say this nigga LeBron 6'8" nigga could probably run a 9'9" and 100-meter dash if he dedicated it to it? Probably could be a Hall of Fame football player if he wanted to be. Could do any goddamn thing on the court. You same niggas will say, "Well, he didn't have enough help if he lost." But then you bring up the fucking Rockets or James Harden, who be up until think about it. Up until Chris Paul came, the nigga didn't even have an all-star teammate. James Harden never had a teammate that made the all-star team the same year as him before he got Chris Paul. And then you'll be like, "He didn't win. He didn't get to the finals. Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that?" What did you ever think, dumbass? Maybe he didn't have the same excuse you give the 6'8", 100-meter dash world champion nigga. You can't give that shit to somebody half his size? This nigga said, because LeBron, I just finished explaining how 5 different Hall of Fame power forwards got worse with LeBron James, and someone in here just said he makes his teammates better. I just got finished explaining how when LeBron James came to the Lakers, they won one more game than they did the previous season before Anthony Davis got there. And he says LeBron James fans and Jordan fans, y'all's most cliche repeating this ass niggas. Y'all worse than Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Y'all is the Al Sharptons of the black movement. Y'all goddamn LeBron and Jordan fans. Y'all are to basketball what Jesse Jackson is to black progress. A whole bunch of cliches. I am somebody. Ain't got no goddamn substance behind what you say though. None. None. This nigga said, Kobe fans. No. Kobe fans don't fantasize about that motherfucker. Nigga, do you know that the Lakers fucking booed Kobe when Shaq left? Nigga, Kobe didn't get no fucking passes in LA. He earned that shit. Laker fans booed that nigga. They booed the shit out of Kobe Bryant. Laker fans didn't really start fucking with Kobe like that until he dropped them 81 points. No, that's 62 and 3/4 against Dallas. That's when niggas was like, all right, maybe he not that bad. Kobe got trashed. Kobe had to earn his respect. And think about this for you soft-ass, bronzexual, sissy-ass niggas. Kobe had to earn respect in a city he already won 3 championships in. That's how LA is. Kobe had already won 3 championships with Shaq. LA was like, so? Shaq gone, nigga. Them 3 championships already happened. We won 5 with Magic. So we ain't impressed with your 3, Kobe. We won 5 with Magic. $11-11, my favorite time. Niggas wasn't impressed by no fucking Kobe Bryant. It wasn't until Kobe dropped them 61 and 3/4. It wasn't until Kobe dropped them 60 some odd points in 3/4 that Laker fans started fucking with Kobe. It wasn't until then. And then when he dropped them 81 points, it was like, all right. But still, when the Lakers lost to Phoenix, first of all, Lakers team got to the playoffs that year. But when the Lakers got to Phoenix, who did LA Laker fans blame? They blamed Kobe. I don't know, my Miles must have left. Yeah. There we go. I think the guy, I'm trying to remove that motherfucker, but I'm on my iPad. Just ignore that hoe. It's just somebody who just had illicit dreams about his mama, and now he's in here. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go. Now he's out of there. Now she's out of here. See? I am a basketball fan for real, for real. So, oh damn, that motherfucker back. Let me see. Here we go. I guess all my moderators are gone. I'm on my iPad, not my computer, so yeah. Whatever. Ignore the big profiles or whatever, and he keeps coming back in here. But that's what happens. That's what happens. It just keep making new accounts. That's all. It's like no bitch. I love that shit, boy. I love the game. I see basketball as a chess match with a bunch of. That's how. I thought I already had you. I thought you were. Let me see if I make you a moderator. Ivory, you're now a moderator. Let me see here. Kenneth Berry's back up in here. Thanks for coming back up in here, brother. Cool. But yeah. But like, I still miss Kobe. But like, I still miss coaching basketball, man. Because I spent, that's where I got my work, my initial work, working with children, man. Coaching basketball. You can teach the game of life through the game of sports, through the game of basketball. You could really teach life through basketball. I miss that shit for real, for real. Okay, I just added you as a moderator. Yeah, I just figured out how to add moderators on my iPad. So my main show I do is my computer. You see the beautiful Billie Holiday? I love this picture because you see her nipple in that picture. You see Billie Holiday's nipple? Man, I love Andrew Bynum. I thought Andrew Bynum was going to be... I saw where Andrew Bynum started and now how much he developed in them four seasons. Andrew Bynum developed so fast. I thought we were looking at a Hall of Famer right there. But the knees couldn't hold up. Like, Andrew Bynum was the real deal. He worked his ass off to get to the basketball shape that he got in. I really feel bad for him and his knees. You're right, his knees didn't love him. That nigga Andrew Bynum's knees didn't love him. Magnetic said no more Lakers. Okay, what you want to talk about then? Magnetic. About to roll myself in the joint. She said, Nicole said boycott the Lakers. Yeah. Lakers pissing me off right now. Oh, that's what's up. That's what they say you started your company? Tom, that's what's up. Hell yeah. I like hearing shit like that. Yeah, Andrew was like, his body just, him, I think we missed out on a lot between, I really wanted to see that matchup, Greg Oden versus Andrew Bynum. Like as a basketball purist, I was looking forward to seeing that matchup for at least 10 or 15 seasons. Andrew Bynum versus Greg Oden. Because both of those players were legit. They were both they both were two centers who could average 26 points a game for a career. But their knees couldn't hold up. Salute to Memphis. I remember Andrew Bynum, he was tall. 7 feet tall. And Andrew Bynum I saw Andrew Bynum at the club a lot. One night in particular, I saw him already 7 feet tall. And he made the 7 foot tall homie look short. Andrew Bynum had to be like 7'1", 7'2". He had long ass arms too. I remember when I used to love watching Andrew play with Gasol. Nigga, that my homeboy was 7 feet tall. Nigga, like when they would get on the court and they would run high-low Gasol to Bynum, nigga, the 7 foot homie would be right there. But them niggas was tall and had long arms. They just dumped passes right over niggas. Boom, boom, boom. Like shit. That nigga, man, y'all making me mad. We really missed out on seeing some legendary shit when Andrew Bynum got hurt like that. Man, Space Jam 2 look like some bullshit. Okay. That's when Tim Duncan was still. Bynum used to kill Tim Duncan. I'm with you in the Space Jam though. I didn't like the first Space Jam. This Space Jam look LeBron like it's gonna be even worse. Nigga, Space Jam was made for my age group. I was what, 12 when Space Jam came out, something like that, 13? That was made for my age demographic. And I thought that movie was some bullshit then. I thought that movie was some bullshit thing. Oh, this nigga Larry in the chat room. Nigga Larry said, let's talk about Larry. I ain't worried about that fade, nigga. This nigga Larry got me put in Facebook jail again. I'm in Facebook jail for 30 more days because of Larry bitch ass. My last 3 times getting put in Facebook jail because of Larry. Fuck you, Larry. And man, Space Jam was some bullshit. I'll get my rolling tray. This Larry. Yeah, Tyler Lakers squad with Nick Van Exel, A. Jones, that was a shit. Nigga, if I hit Larry with this shit one time, that motherfucker going to sleep. What's the purpose of the CBC? The purpose of the CBC is to make sure black people get nothing. That's the purpose of the Congressional Black Caucus, to make sure black Americans get nothing but plantation dances and trinkets. Nigga Larry, you from Houston, get that bitch Cedar Jackson Lee out of here. Then I knock your bitch ass out when I'm done with it. Yeah, fuck Sheila Jackson Lee's hair. Hell yeah, say no to the jab. I'm not fucking with that. I'm not fucking with no jab. I had a physical today with my doctor. My doctor offered me that jab today. She was like, and it was like some drug dealer shit too. She was like, you want the C19? Okay, what about the whoop and cough jab? Okay, what about the flu jab? I'm like, I don't want none of them jabs. Give me some motherfucking weed and give me some shrooms. By the way, yeah, I'm gonna do a show with y'all tomorrow, probably Thursday, and I'll probably fuck with y'all Friday too. But I'm not fucking with you niggas on Saturday. I'm not fucking with y'all on Saturday. It's gonna be me and my mushrooms on Saturday. When I'm on my shrooms, I do not fuck with this internet. Yeah, the Congressional Black Caucus, their job is to annoy white people and make sure black people get nothing. Hell yeah, Wilder has a fight date. July 24th. I'm mad because I think I got Hollywood Bowl tickets that day, I think. Let me see here. I saw that fight date. Where is that? Let me see here. Hollywood Bowl, my app. Nigga Larry said I'll be on sauteed mushrooms. Fuck you. I'll be on my shrooms Saturday, goddammit. I might do shrooms Friday. I don't know. I'm gonna do them Saturday or Friday. Yeah, see, shit. Damn it. This is my Hollywood. This is what I got tickets to so far at the Hollywood Bowl. I got Cool in the Game July 3rd. But we got Lettucey Sings, Nina Simone. I already got them tickets. And that's going now on the same night as that Wilder fight. Then I'm going to go see my man Sergio Mendes. I love that bossa nova from Brazil. That's my shit. I got some more shows at the Hollywood Bowl, but Craig got some. We got some dates coming to y'all. Me, Craig, Big John. We gonna be on the road this summer. I got more fucking Hollywood Bowl shows I want to go to, but I ain't buy the tickets yet because I don't have all the dates locked down. But we gonna be fucking with y'all this summer. We're gonna be fucking with y'all this summer. Yeah, that July 24th. I'm mad too, because yeah, we're gonna have some shows coming up. So since I got these shows coming up, usually me and the wife, I buy the whole goddamn summer at the Hollywood Bowl. But usually those shows are on Wednesdays. Now what used to be a Wednesday show is now on fucking Saturday. And I'm gonna miss the goddamn water fight. Fuck. I showed y'all this before. That first, fuck you, Larry. That first Wilder versus Fury fight. These was my seats right here. This is where I was sitting for that first Wilder Fury fight. That shit was fun. God damn, that shit was fun. That's when me, Jai, and Craig went to that bitch. That shit was fun to the motherfucker, that fight. We was on row 15. I wanted to go to this next Wilder Fury fight, but goddamn, I'm not missing no Hollywood Bowl shows. That fucking coronavirus had me and the wife miss all last summer. He said, hey, Tom said we needed Brandon for that last episode. It was a lot, you're right, it was a lot of, I don't even like using that word pause, because nigga, pause is in parentheses or anything I say, nigga. I don't even do all that shit. But this last show, yeah, we needed Brandon, nigga. I was in the agreement with Brandon saying pause with a lot of shit Autobots was saying. Shouts out to Autobots, that's my nigga. But some of that shit he was saying on the show, we needed Brandon there to pause that nigga. We did need Brandon there. When Brandon leg fucked up. Yeah. All right, Nicole, you have a good one. I just want to come and talk to y'all, because I ain't talked to you motherfuckers in a couple days. Magnetic said I got miss it, yeah. Yeah, that last show, it was still a good show. But we needed Brandon to pause that nigga at least a half dozen times. Brandon should be there tomorrow. Nigga. Yeah, we do got good chemistry. We do. That's so fun as hell. That's so fun as hell to do. Tommy Soto. Who's Tommy Soto? Oh, Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor is like that. Just look at his track record. He was cool with Zoe and Corey, went bad on them, and he's always going bad on somebody. He has an energy I don't even like dealing with. I don't even like talking about him. I don't like watching him. He even did I remember that one of those shows we did at Craig Facts, dude did a whole breakdown on us, and people were sending me video. Oh, he clowned y'all. I didn't even respond. I didn't even look at the videos. Like, okay, Tommy Sotomayor clown Craig Facts. All right, whatever. That's what he does. That's how he get his money. Whatever. I don't take the nigga serious. It's obvious trolling, so whatever. Yeah, he turned on Kwame Brown because I don't know, man. Kwame kept dropping it in. Kwame actually dropped that nigga's name. A lot of people started looking at Kwame funny when he dropped Tommy Sotomayor's name. So I think that's actually good for Kwame that the shit turned bad. Because everybody know what kind of fuck shit Soto do, Sotomayor or whatever. Everybody know what kind of fuck shit he be doing. So that's a good thing for Kwame's brain. Yeah. I want to do a show. I want to do a show in Oakland. We'll see though. If you know any venues in Oakland, have them hit up Craig. Email Craig because Craig looking for venues. Y'all got venues in Oakland that are fucking house us. Shit, we'll do a show up in Oakland. That is as simple as that. I like Oakland too. What do I know about blacks being forced out of their homes in the U.S. in the 50s? Black people have never not been forced out of our homes. Black people have always been forced out of homes in America. Man, believe it or not, it's still going on right now with gentrification and other things. It wasn't just in the 50s black people were forced out of their homes. This fucking country finds a new way every goddamn decade to force us out of our homes. In the late 1800s, it was all those laws in the South that forced niggas to move up to the North. Once they got to the North, it was the loan, those sinister 40% interest rate loans that they would give black folks. Economic deprivation. God damn it. In the 50s, it was the Highway Act. Nigga, in the 70s and 80s, it was the war on drugs. In the goddamn 90s, it was the savings and loans debacle. In the 2000s, it was the subprime loan. Black people always getting forced out of homes. We can never isolate our oppression in the United States to one decade or one era. That's some shit that liberals do to us. And I'm not saying you did it on purpose. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is liberals, the way our education system is sort of, in our entertainment system, it sort of makes us look back at our history on these segments. When in actuality, each segment is no different than the totality itself. And here's the reason why I say that. The reason why I say that is because you can't find a segment where these things did not happen. Going back to the 1600s. If I take you back to 1670, when whiteness was invented, on through, you're going to find all of these things happening. So don't allow these people in the media to segment our history into these blocks as if one block, white folks was less violent, more gracious, and more loving than at any other point in the blocks. That's right, Larry. If you troll, Larry deleting this shit if you troll. In America, as always, we gotta read as adults. We gotta retrain ourselves in that mindset on how America treated us and look at it in its totality, because we have to pass that information and that knowledge down to the children. I need to do a broadcast on this. And I'm actually, tomorrow morning's broadcast might be on this. Every black new generation always has to start from the beginning. We always making our kids start from number one. Not just financially, but also here too. Black children are the least prepared to deal with racism, but the most oppressed by racism. Why is that? That's not white folks' fault. That's our fault. Black people deal with the most racism, but our children are least prepared to deal with racism. Mods are on it. That ghost motherfucker, that bitch ass motherfucker keep trying to come up in here. The mods are on that. Thank y'all. But that's something we gotta fix as a people. Black people deal with oppression and racism every day at work. But you go home and not teach your kids about how to deal with it, how you overcome it. You want to act like it doesn't exist in front of your children. So now when your children get of age, they dealing with the same shit and they're totally unprepared. Yes, they are an experiment. I do believe that. The experiment theory is just as believable, probably more believable than the Caucasus Mountain theory. Because the Caucasus Mountain thing, pull up your Google Maps right now and look at that Caucasus Mountain range in Georgia. Georgia meaning near Russia, that Georgia. You mean to tell me all them people came out of that little ass mountain range, got frozen by the ice age? Shit, why the Eskimos don't look like them then? I do believe, all I gotta say on that topic, Bobby Hemmitt's summation of who and where white people come from makes the most sense to me. Let me see. Jason asks, I have a question. If white comes from black people, wouldn't a part of them also be God? Maybe. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe, but I have no doubts that there's some God in them, but my only thing when it comes to the God in them, where's the proof? Like, how they act? Where's the proof in their actions that there's God in them? They don't act like it. You said it's Dookie genius, Larry. You right. What these niggas come like? Let's look up Bobby Hemmett and what, and because yeah, and yeah, I don't and like I said, they're not all white people are cave people still. There are a fair amount of white folks who have evolved past the caves. The problem is those aren't the ones in leadership positions. The ones in leadership positions still act no differently than they did when they were known as Visigoths and Vandals and Franks. So, yeah. That's right about Kevin Barry. That's John Henry Clark. Don't talk to me about no good white people because they act as shields for the bad ones. How do I feel about the Haitian Revolution? Dope shit. And they built themselves a good economy after the revolution. They just got fucked over by the rest of the world. You're right, there are not a bunch of John Brown. Think about it. How long ago did John Brown live? John Brown died over 170 years ago. Why haven't we had a John Brown since? John, think about this. This is another thing I say think about it. I say think of this. Just think about it. John Brown lived at the time of Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman. Since Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, black folks, and not only was it because it wasn't just Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, those are the only two that they talk about. Because my favorite person from that area is Robert Smalls. We have Robert, but I'm just gonna stick with the ones that we talk about. I'm not gonna even bring. We all know that there's more black folks who did more things that haven't been talked about since. But John Brown lived during the time of Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman. Since Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, black folks have had, and again, this is the only ones we speak about. I know that there are more. For you people that like to be in the comments, you forgot sinned. You forgot sinned. I get it. I'm not going to mention everybody, okay? But since Freddie Douglass and Harriet Tubman, we've had Ida B. Wells, we've had Marcus Garvey, we've had Noble Drew Ali, we've had Elijah Muhammad, we've had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, all the Black Panthers, Brunson Carter, Fred Hampton, all the way through now. You've had all of these names, and these are just the ones that they mentioned. And you only had one white boy on the level of John Brown in 170 years. Think about that for a moment. We've had dozens upon dozens of people who continue to fight for freedom, just the ones that they mentioned. Them motherfuckers ain't had one John Brown in 170 years. What's crazy is John Brown was funded by a black woman. It was a black woman that was writing his checks. I forgot her name. But she died and she wrote a memo in 1901. Because they found a letter in John Brown's pocket saying about, after Harper's Ferry, some more money coming for you. They never knew who it was. It ended up being a black woman that was in business. I forgot her name. But just Google black woman that funded John Brown. They found out after she died. She put that shit at the end of her life. The white dude wrote the crack cocaine, that was Gary Webb. Gary Webb was dope. Okay, just say you want to throw Gary Webb in there. Gary Webb is the person that broke the crack cocaine. Okay. It's two white people. What causes panic attacks and anxiety attacks? I don't know. They're unique to the individual. What to give one person a panic attack is different than what to give somebody else one. For that, I recommend you go to a therapist and find out where those thoughts are coming from. That's my recommendation. Go to a therapist and find out where your panic attacks are coming from. Some people get panic attacks when they see midgets. Some people get panic attacks in helicopters. Some people get panic attacks every time they hear a siren. I recommend you go to your therapist and find out for me. I get a panic attack every time I think I won't get the opportunity to beat the dog shit out of Larry Goodwill. That's when I get panic attacks. When I be thinking man, this nigga's gonna somehow get out of this life without taking this fade. That makes me panic. Cause I'm already knowing at some point before it's all over, nigga, I gotta see Larry's hands, for real, for real. So I get a panic attack at the thought, Larry my life is gonna be over before I get a chance to beat the dog shit out this nigga. That's when I get a panic attack. Then every time Larry act like he want to fight, I calm down. So I be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get that fade one day. Somebody said, well, your refrigerator ain't empty. No, my refrigerator is never empty. That's poverty problems. I don't live in poverty. Biddy Mason was the shit. Came from Utah to California as a slave. They thought she found out she moved to San Bernardino. She found out ain't no slaves in California. Got her freedom. Became a midwife. bought up a fuck ton of property in downtown LA. Those tallest buildings in LA are on the land Biddy Mason used to own. Ended up being one of the wealthiest landowners in LA back in the 1800s. I don't watch King Kong or Goliath. I've never seen either one of the movies. Those movies have always looked stupid to me. But I do believe Earth is hollow. I do believe that. The hollow Earth theory makes much more sense than the theory of a iron core, lava, magma, and that doesn't make sense to me. Earth being hollow and having life on the inside of it, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Why does that make sense to me? Because I understand laws of nature, and one of the laws of nature is the law of duality, as above, so below. And just like in our own human life, we have life, we are life. On the inside of us, life exists also that we never see inside our bodies. All those goddamn, it's a lot of life going on inside of us. Everything has life on the inside of it. So why wouldn't Earth have life on the inside? If basically trees have life on the inside of them, oftentimes. Life on the inside and outside is kind of a universal thing. So why wouldn't Earth? Earth is a living being. Why wouldn't Earth have life on the inside of it? What kind of intelligence that life is, I don't know. What does that life look like? I don't know. But I do believe that's highly possible. And the fact that the media fight, I know that traditionally things that I'm told over and over and over and over again by mainstream media, they prove themselves to be liars all the time, according to them themselves. Either liars or just didn't know better. Because I've been watching the Discovery Channel now for like 30 years. I'm damn near 40 years old. I've been watching the Discovery Channel since the early 90s. And shit they was telling me was true back then, they told me it was different when I was watching the Discovery Channel in 2001. Then when I was watching the Discovery Channel in 2011, some new different shit. Now when I watched the Discovery Channel in 2021, more new different shit. So that tells me one of two things, or maybe both. Either they know and they don't tell us, or they don't know and they're just throwing shit out there to us. Either way it goes, it's telling me what they saying is take it with a grain of salt. So that's how I look at it. You're right, Earth is a living organism. Earth has little. You ever see a time-lapse photo of Earth over a full year cycle? Nigga Larry says South Memphis sound dumb as hell. You stupid. But you ever see a time-lapse photo of Earth over a year cycle when it's going through the season? It literally looks like a breathing lung. You see the ice come in and then it recedes and it gets green and then it turns brown, then white. Like, look at a time-lapse photo of Earth for over a 1 year period. And then when you see the cycles in 1 year, it literally looks like breaths. It's like it's amazing. Like, Google that shit, it's dope as hell. Like the life cycle of Earth over like a time-lapse photo of Earth in space for over a year. It's like green, brown, yellow, white. White, yellow, green, brown, green. Like, it's dope. Earth is a breathing, living organism. I love Earth. And you should love Earth too. Earth gives us, this is one thing I want to say. I ain't going to be on here too much longer. I appreciate that, Eric Harvey. Black people, we got to get reconnected with nature, man. You got to take time to step outside and appreciate the earth that you live on. You gotta appreciate the universe that you live in. Step outside and see the stars. I be pissing Larry off with this. When Larry used to be over here, when he was in LA, he'd be mad as hell. Nigga, I'll be outside. Nigga, I gotta go out there and see where Sirius is. He'd be like, man, you fat ass nerd. Nigga, Larry, you climbing the shit out of me. But that's me. I'm a nature boy, man. I gotta appreciate where I live. I appreciate this planet. You know, touch the dirt. Think about how the dirt cleanses. You can bury anything you want in the dirt. You're never gonna smell it. Earth is beautiful, man. They got the trees, the wind. Go on and look right now. Like right now, we're in the summertime. So go outside and look to the north and see Polaris, the North Star, and then look to your east and see Vega, the brightest star of the night during the summertime. On a clear night, just go out there to your northeast, about 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. Look at Vega. That's such a beautiful star. It shines red, yellow, green. You just stare at it, it shines all those different colors. And every 12,000 years, that's our North Pole. Vega in 12,000 is our North Pole 12,000 years ago, and it'll be our North Pole again in 12,000 years because of the Earth 26,000 year wobble. The North Pole changes position. But just appreciate how beautiful that star is. Like, put your fucking feet in the dirt, niggas. We gotta reconnect nature. Because nature gives us messages and downloads and shit. Don't get too caught up in what goes on. Racism exists. I talk about it just so we can see what's going on with it. But don't let this racism shit consume you. You don't want to be the opposite of these white boys that's be coming in here trolling. You got to be a dirty soul, sorry son of a motherfucker to go running in chat rooms, black folks minding their own business, to go in the chat room and start calling out a bunch of niggers and shit like them white boys was doing earlier. You got to be a sorry sack of shit in life for that to be your lot in life. You got all this white privilege, but you rather spend it on a nigga in his fucking garage, having fun with people on my YouTube page. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be consumed with it. You want to recognize it, see it, build your wealth up and, build your shit up to where you can fight against it. But then you need to go back to living and having fun, man. Fuck all that shit. Man, take your ass to the beach, nigga. Go up to the mountains. Well, I'm going to tell y'all, my last trip I had to Lake Arrowhead, I ain't never sat in that house again. Nigga, that shit felt haunted like a motherfucker. You ever been in a haunted house? What I think my first time ever was 3 or 4 weeks ago when I was in Lake Arrowhead. If y'all notice, nigga, I didn't take, people follow me on social media, I took like 2 pictures of the view I was at, but I didn't take near picture of a place we were staying. It looked good, but man, that shit felt weird as hell. I ain't never been in a place that felt that weird. All goddamn night I heard knocking and more knocking, hearing all kind of shit. I swear to God, that house was haunted. I ain't plus, and we went on a new moon. There was no light outside at night because it was new moon. But I like going places on new moon. I like when it's completely dark outside. I love the dark. I love being out, like me and the wife, we will go out to the desert when it's new moon and no light outside just so I can see the stars. I want to see that belt of stars that you see, that belt of stars that you see at nighttime on a new moon. I wanted to see all that. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy band of stars. See, that's nothing. Discovery Channel told us back in the day that band of stars that you see was the edge of the Milky Way. Remember we learned that shit in school? Nigga, I read a science journal. These motherfuckers been knowing since like 1999 that band of stars is not the edge of the Milky Way. It's the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy colliding with the Milky Way. Proven as far as what they say it is now. But they still, when they do decide to show that shit on Discovery Channel, they'll still tell us on TV it's a theory that they don't know. But when you read their journals, they say, oh, it's 100% that. Somebody asked if I met John Wall. Wow, somebody asked if somebody met John Wall. And I appreciate it. Judge Brown's always good. I'm going to interview Judge Moore. But yeah, that band of stars, that's the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy that collided with the Milky Way. And the Milky Way and that dwarf galaxy are in a dance spiraling together, but they haven't quite joined one another. It's like it's like a thin galaxy sort of radiating across the Milky Way, and that's what you see. But they don't tell you that shit in the school yet, but in their fucking journals, they've been saying it for 20 years. They lie their ass off to us. Somebody asked my hair scared of ghosts. Hell no. But goddamn, energy is real. When I was in that house in Lake Arrowhead, nigga, that shit did not feel good. Like, in the daytime, it was cool. But at night, and it ain't like me to get weirded out at night. I like night. I love the night. I love the dark. My wife calls me a fucking vampire. When it's nighttime, nigga, you'll never see me turn a light. I don't even like this light on. I had this light on because I don't want you niggas. If I wasn't on here, this light would be off and I would be here in my garage in the dead dark with a fucking candle burning and my weed lit, listening to Smokey Robinson. That nigga lady said, nigga talking about stars and quasars, and somebody brought up John Wall. Boys in the Hood, that was my shit. Nigga sound like Airway Jetson. Yeah, Jason, I'm very tapped into energy. I'm an energetic being. That's even how my stand-up comedy is. Like, a lot of people have prepared, hard, rigid shit that they say for the laughs. My stand-up comedy is very energy-based. I feel it. I go out there, okay, what these niggas want to laugh at tonight? And I have, like, joke premises and titles, but I don't say the same jokes every night. And even the jokes I do say over and over again, I never say them the same way twice. I say my jokes cater to the energy that I'm feeling in the moment. I'm very big on energy. I'm very sensitive to energy. In that house I was staying in Lake Arrowhead, that shit was not right at all. Even my wife is very into energy. We both were kind of in there at night time, like, the fuck? Because in the Airbnb it was a tri-level. You had the level you walked in on, and then there was a loft upstairs, and there's a downstairs bedroom with a shower. The problem was that downstairs bedroom. I took a nap in it when I first got there the first day and during the daytime, and it was kind of felt weird. But that was the bedroom that we stayed we was laying up in the loft, but the loft was hot as hell. Like, you better off staying down low because what the loft was, it was like sunshine coming in with no curtains. Because it was an old log cabin, not log cabin. Well, I wasn't in a log cabin. I was in a wooden house. But it just felt like when you walk down them steps to that lower level,
it was real cold, like hella cold. Mind you, during the daytime it's 80 degrees. But that downstairs of where I was staying, the temperature never got above 59 degrees downstairs. I know because it had a thermostat down there. It was 59 degrees down there. 80 degrees outside. But the lower level was 59 fucking degrees. And when you walk down, it just not only was it cold, it just didn't feel right. And the problem was that's where the shower was. So you had to walk down them steps to get to the shower. That was the first time in my life I felt like I felt like, nigga, don't fall like a white bitch in a Jason movie. Nigga, that shit did not feel right. I kept my ass up. And then I took mushrooms the second night I was there. Oh man, I felt all that energy. Because y'all know when you take mushrooms, you feel the energy. Nigga, when I do mushrooms at home, even at home, nigga, I sage the motherfucker down. Ah, shit. I even get my home right, clean it up. I didn't have no sage out there, nigga. I took some shrooms, nigga. The shroom trip was cool, but I like to listen to music on shrooms. And when I was on my outside deck smoking weed, I just didn't want to put my earbuds in. It's like the whole energy of the area didn't feel right. It was like, man, if I'm be out here, I gotta have my ears open. My energy was like, nah, buddy, you can't put the earbuds in right now. It's just, if Kyrie Irving's where your mind goes when you think about sage, you don't understand sage, my brother. But nigga, all I know is that shroom trip was weird because I couldn't really get into my music just because the energy of the whole place was not right. There's a WNBA fight compilation, Kenneth Berry. This nigga said I'm about to watch a WNBA fight compilation. I can't stand the WNBA. But shouts out to Noelle Quinn. She's a dope ass baller. She used to hoop at UCLA with the homegirl Lisa. She's now like a head coach in the WNBA. I be talking shit about WNBA, but my homegirl Lisa Willis, she became the first woman coach, and she's an assistant coach in the Knicks organization. Nigga, when I found out Lisa became a coach in the NBA, I was so goddamn happy. Because Lisa could hoop her ass off. I used to hoop with Lisa all the time back in the day when I used to hoop. Lisa could hoop her ass off. She played for UCLA, then she ended up playing in the WNBA for like 4 years, 5 years. Injuries took her out. But she became the first woman to coach within the Knicks organization. Shouts out to Lisa Willis. I know I talk shit about the WNBA because it's fun. And I'll never watch it. The only time I ever even watched a WNBA game was to watch Lisa Willis play or to watch Noelle Quinn play. Back in 2006, I used to scrimmage with the UCLA women's team. At the, not all the time, I only did it like maybe twice. They, in the Wooden Center, fuck you, Larry. I'm eat your sorry ass up tomorrow. Yeah, the women's team used to hoop in the Wooden Center at UCLA, and we used to play pickup basketball in the Wooden Center. Because the men's team plays in the men's UCLA basketball team, they practice in the men's gym. They don't practice in the Wooden Center. But the Wooden Center would be where open scrimmage was, and the women's team, they practice in the women's gym, in a different gym too, but they would scrimmage in the Wooden Center by them, like as a unit. And whenever, because it wasn't actually these weren't official practices. This was like them scrimmaging for the most part. So whenever they have 10 girls, they'd always have a couple dudes play. And I played a couple games with them. And there was a couple chicks on that UCLA women's basketball team, Noah Quinn specifically and Lisa Willis. They ball their ass off. But then there was other ones chicks on the team like, hold on. You in a D1 school? And this all you got? God damn, it's easy for women to get D1 basketball scholarships. Let me see. Yeah, Lisa Leslie did send it to them feminists. Lisa Leslie, a real one for that. Craig Facts is gonna come to NYC when NYC put that money up. Find somebody to get a venue. We can come to NYC. Yeah. Lisa Leslie wasn't for that bullshit. Salute to Lisa Leslie. But I'm still gonna talk shit about WNBA. That shit just fun. If I ain't got no more questions, I'm gonna get the fuck on out of here. I done smoked a blunt and a joint. I don't think I want to smoke any more weed tonight. Man, what time is it? It's damn midnight, okay. Let me see. Yeah. I'm about to get the fuck up on out of here, y'all. Ain't shit else to talk about. I might do a show tomorrow in the morning. I'll see. I don't know what I want to talk about. Raising the next generation. I'll see. All right, y'all, I'm out. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages.